Hi, it's hot. Here in the UK we're heading into yet another heat wave. Oh, so if you hear wary noises in the background, it's fans and air conditioning. I've had to turn the air conditioning unit off in my little room here because you won't hear me. So I'm melting a little bit, which is not ideal. I'm not bringing you a project this week, and I will tell you why in just a moment. So this is a bit of a vlog, and I will be throwing up some photographs of relevant stuff as we go along, so it's not just my face for however long this ends up being. I'll try and keep it short. Right, if you are on Patreon, thank you very much. You get to see this video before anybody else, and you are one of the main reasons I can do this, because your financial support really helps. If you would like to become a Patreon or patron, go in the description box below. There's more information down there. Right, that's that out of the way. So, what has been happening that's meant that I'm not doing a project for you this week? I had an event on the weekend. We did Havoc and Friends, which was a sold-out show, and it was a fantastic time. I got to try out my new stall setup. I'll come to that in a bit. And I made some new artwork. Again, I'll come to that in a little bit. And yeah, it was wonderful. This is all part of me changing the focus of my business a little bit. I'm not changing what I do, I'm changing how I do it. For a long time, my business has been internet-based, because 10, 15 years ago, I was finding that trying to get out to real-world events and actually make money at them was getting increasingly difficult. So back then, I didn't realise what was wrong with me health-wise. I do now. It's ME, chronic fatigue syndrome. And it meant that I was constantly fighting that. So I made the switch to the internet, which made life a lot easier for me, and it was pretty good going for a long time, until recently, when it stopped being as easy. The challenge seems to have coincided with the Online Safety Act in the UK. It's made some of the sites I use difficult to use now. Some places have gone dark, some places have disappeared. And it's just a lot harder to navigate the internet now than it used to be, which is a shame. I'm also finding that certain places are more hostile, especially if you're doing queer content or just artwork, with the advent of generative AI, and I'm not going to talk about that because that is a whole video all on its own and you're not here for that. Suffice to say, I do not use generative AI in any of my work, and I never intend to. Mostly for ethical reasons, but also practical reasons, because it doesn't actually speed up any of my workflow at all, and I can't plug my sewing machine into the internet. So yeah, I'm having to now make the transition back to where I started, which is selling in the real world. I don't have the capital or the physical ability to run a shop, bricks and mortar type shop anymore, which is a shame. That's one of the things I enjoyed doing the most way back when. Retail when you're self-employed can be quite enjoyable. Retail when you're employed by somebody else very rarely is. So I'm looking at doing more events. So like Pride events, or as I did earlier this year, Pup Out London, which coincided with London Pride. That's been my first decent sized event so far this year, and let me understand what my abilities are now. It opened me up to a new audience, which is great, and I actually turned a decent profit. So I was very, very happy with that event. It was very successful for me, and it's allowed me to make some steps into being a real world trader a bit more. Only issue was my store was a little bit cobbled together, because I didn't have the capital to put into shop fittings and things, and I didn't have anything left over from when I used to do this, because it was so long ago. I just didn't have a use for it. There's been so many house moves since then. It's not the sort of thing you keep hold of. But I made it work. And because I made it work, I was able to do an upgrade. And now I have a much better setup, which I tried out this weekend when we did Havoc and Friends, which was a drag night and was a heck of a lot of fun. Several performers. I did artwork for the performers, which was available there and is also available in my shop on my website. We'll come to that later. And yeah, it taught me that there are things I can do now. There are things that I can do if I'm careful and if I understand my health limitations. And my friends are the most wonderful people, as is my partner, because they step up and they help me when I'm struggling. They step up and they help me when I'm not struggling, to be fair. And I really appreciate it because it's allowing me to stay employed. I can't do regular employment because of my health problems. But I can do self-employment where it's completely flexible and I can move it to suit whatever I need to do. So normally I would bring you a sewing project. I'm not doing that, but I have been sewing for the next big event. So this is the one that I've been working on just recently. It's another one of my reversible hooded boleros. And this one I found some trim in the clearance section, which is the best place. Some brand new trim, some lovely, interesting red fabric, and a completely unique garment just waiting for somebody to enjoy it. I have a bit of hand sewing to finish off on that to get that done, and I've got a few more back here to sew together to get ready for my next event. But first, I want to talk to you a bit about Pup Out and about pups in general. Now, if you know, you know. I don't need to explain it to you. I'm not going to go into any great depth here because it's quite a broad church of a community. But fundamentally, think of it like dressing up and being silly, because a lot of it is that. And it fits in really, really well with what I do. So I can make artwork for the community and it's really appreciated and I really enjoy it. So we've got things like Pirate Pup. This is an original design and this is one of my new prints that I'm doing at home. And we've got Pup Club. These are my original characters. Again, one of my new prints that I'm doing at home. I don't use generative AI in any of this. This is all done the old-fashioned way. Yes, it's digital, but that's just the tool. I can do this with pen and paper. I'm capable of that. These are not AI generated. These are 100% meat paddles, which I use to make things with. They are not connected to the internet. So I'm really enjoying the opportunity to get some new artwork out, some different style of artwork out as well. It can get a little bit samey sometimes when you get known for a particular style or a particular content. So I like the diversity. That's not all. So they were made for Pup Out London, and that event was successful enough that I managed to upgrade my stall equipment so that I could do some more events. And the most recent one this weekend was Havoc and Friends, which was a drag show. I did artwork for all of the performers, including Havoc herself. I'll put them up on the screen here so you can see the other pieces. I have prints of these available, and it was a great night. Really enjoyed it. Sold out. The event, that is, not me. And it allowed me to test the new stall equipment that I'd been able to buy after the success of Pup Out London. And it's quicker, it's easier, it's much better for me physically to have that to build and take down. So it gave me a lot more confidence in my abilities and made me more comfortable going forwards with new events. Again, a big thank you to Pat, my other half, and my friends for helping out with everything. I literally couldn't do it without you. So what I'm going to be making is drag accessories, pup accessories, drag and pup artwork, alternative fashion, and all the other stuff I also do, such as the automotive artwork and the furry artwork and the car videos on my other channel, which you might be here from. But if you're interested in old cars, skip on over there. There's a link in the box down below. And yeah, I have my fingers in a lot of creative pies, but I've got to really control what I'm doing. I've got to focus a little bit. So that's why at the end of this month, on the 30th of August, I'm doing Hastings Pride. This is going to be my first full-size event since I've made this tentative transition back into real-world trading. You know, there were so many things that can go wrong You cannot rely on an event like that, or any event, to get you any money in. It's always a gamble, which is part of the reason I stopped doing it. But it's a risk I am able to take, thanks to the success of a previous event and the internet stuff that I have at the moment. So it's one I'm going to take. And the things I will be taking are, as you can see here on my wonderful stall, all kinds of stuff. So I've got the Squeaky Bones, which have been one of my best sellers. These have been immensely popular. I seem to have got that one just right, but I'm not resting on my laurels with those, because eventually I'm going to hit a point where everybody who wants one has one. And there's only so much you can do about that, so I need to make more things. So I have been experimenting with more ideas. I have Scrunkles, which are a variation on the bones in that they have a face and they have a different texture inside them, so they're crinkly. They haven't gone down particularly well. Never mind. I've got fluffy wristbands. These have also been received quite well. I only debuted them last weekend, but the response to them was really good. I only had a couple of prototypes with me, but I think when I do Hastings, they're going to do better, so I think they'll do quite well. Another popular item I've got is mohawks. I make furry mohawks. These are originally, these were done for the pups because there was a request for people to have mohawks. They didn't know where to get them from. Nobody was making them. The only thing I've not been able to pin down yet is how to make them removable and still comfortable. So they are a permanent fix sort of deal. I'm planning on some diversification with this because some people have requested them to go on other items of headwear, but the design I have at the moment doesn't translate to everything because the proportions and stuff. So I need to look into that. That's something that's going to be coming up. But I really enjoy making those, except for the cutting fur part of it, which is always a bit of a pain. But they're fully lined and they've got good strong tape on them and they're washable to a degree. And yeah, they've gone on really, really well. There's been some really cute photographs out there. If I've got permission to post some photographs of pups in their mohawks that they've got from me, I will stick those in here. I hope I do get some permission from some people, but we shall see. Other things that I want to be doing. I have been experimenting with some, well, English piecework is what I see it being called a lot. I just think of it as hexagon patchwork. This is using up, like with the bones, this is using up bits of fabric that are too small to use for the bones and borderline too small to keep, and it's a great way of using stuff up. So right now I am making a big sheet of fabric that's just whatever I've got, and I'm just going to keep building on this until it's big enough to make something out of. I also have plans to make more drag bags. Again, I seem to be getting involved in the drag community, which is perfectly fine by me, so I'm looking at making some more of those and some other accessories as time goes on. Because I have to make everything myself, I don't buy things ready-made, except for, you know, trim and fabric. I'm not weaving my own fabric. It does limit how quickly I can do everything. That and my health restrictions as well. But it's a really exciting time for me at the moment. Things are going in the direction I'd like them to go. It is that difficult part with a business where basically I'm having to spend almost everything I earn just to get things going in the direction they need to be going in. So any support that you can give me, anything that you buy, or like if you subscribe to my Patreon or that sort of thing, it really, really, really helps. Because my main goal at the end of this, I don't want to be reliant on government handouts. Not because I'm ashamed of it, far from it. I've paid taxes. I deserve the government handouts when I'm at a position in my life where I need the support. But it's more that I don't want to have that fear of one day they could just take it away from me. I want the financial independence. I want to work for myself. I want to do it in a way that's not going to make me more ill. And it's difficult. The amount I want to do and the amount I can do are not aligned. I can no longer be a workaholic. I have to be very careful. And thankfully, because of my friends, because of my partner, I can do that. And I will do that. And everything is going to get better day after day after day. that feels like a really positive note to end the video on, so that's what I'm going to do. I will see you in the next one. Hopefully it'll be a project next time. It may be a report from Hastings Pride. I think the date might fall about right for that. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure right now. It is getting too hot to think. I need to turn that air conditioning unit on. I feel very sticky. And I will hopefully see you in the next video, whatever that ends up being. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.